Good morning, everyone, and welcome to SPACC Live, Public Policy Conversations. For the next couple of weeks, SPACC will be hosting this series of policy webinars, a quick half-hour conversation with East Metro policymakers and multiple levels of government. Questions can be submitted during the webinar by clicking the question button at the bottom of your screen. Our host is Shannon Watson, Director of Public Affairs at the St. Paul Area Chamber of Commerce. Our featured guest today is Dakota County Commissioner Liz Workman.
Thanks, Evie, and thank you, everybody, for joining us on this Good Friday version of the policy webinar. It's our pleasure to be with you today. Commissioner Workman, thank you so much for taking some time out of your busy stay-at-home schedule to join us on the webinar.
Shannon, I appreciate the St. Paul Area Chamber of Commerce hosting these. What a great way to have conversations and just talk to someone other than your dogs for a half hour, you know?
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to jump right into questions. We've had a few weeks of this sort of new normal, stay-at-home COVID-19, and I think people are really settling into working from home, practicing social distancing, school from home. How has the county changed its operations to keep people safe and then also get the business of local government done?
A lot. We've had to adjust like other businesses have. We closed all of our face-to-face facilities, all of our libraries, our license centers, anything that requires face-to-face interaction, we're closed until May 3rd. But we still have to deliver services, so we're doing it a new way. We're doing it like this, or through telephone or email or even snail mail, regular mail. We have 80% of our staff, of our employees is teleworking. They're working from home or wherever, a safe place, maybe at one of their offices, but not close to anyone. So we're looking at, we're like everyone else. We're looking at ways to still provide all of the services to the people who need them, but keeping our residents safe and our employees safe. As a matter of fact, we have a new online for our staff. It's an online service for them where we will pair employees who have, let me give you an example. We have a finance, and our board chair shared this with me the other day. People in our finance department are not as busy as what they normally are. So they're looking to keep productivity going. They're asking for different things to do. Well, we in parks, we have buckthorn that needs to be pulled. So you can trade in that suit and tie and put on a pair of blue jeans and a flannel shirt and, help out the parks department. So we have such awesome employees who are willing to do different things like that to still keep the county moving forward, and them still working, because as of today, we haven't furloughed anyone. And that is our goal, is to not lay anyone off, especially during this time. So, and we're doing different things too, like our libraries are closed. So we now have curbside pickup. You can reserve a book, go online, reserve a book, and call when the book is available. The library will call you. You can schedule an appointment and go and pick it up. We also have books by mail. Same thing, you can reserve a book, and for the people who can't use the curbside service, and if you don't have a library card, you can even get one online and use ebooks right away. And we have on Facebook, virtual storytelling 3 times a week for the parents and kids. So we're doing things that we haven't done before, but we're still trying to keep those kinds of services going.
Right. You mentioned doing the maintenance on the parks, and since it's spring, it was sort of winter yesterday.
Was it supposed to be yesterday?
I think for a few minutes, and then it was winter. Then it was spring. Then it was winter. But let's talk about park accessibility. Are the parks still open in Dakota County?
Absolutely. The buildings are not, the restrooms are not, the drinking fountains are not for obvious reasons, but the trails are wide open. The parks are still open. We ask, I mean, you need to get out there, get some fresh air, just exercise, and even for your mental health, just
Right.
get out of the house and do something fun. And we even have, if you don't want to go outside, we do have on the Facebook page again, outdoor education resources. So they're open, and we want people to use them, but just do practice the social distancing. That's all we ask.
Yeah,
And stay
absolutely.
safe. Yeah.
So the Facebook page is obviously a resource. Where are other places that people can get information? So if there's changes or updates, what's the best place to go?
Oh, our website. The website is full of information. We have you can sign up for an e-newsletter, get updates on COVID-19 health tips if you're not overwhelmed by it. If you need, we have a public health hotline open now. It's just to help augment the Minnesota Department of Health, their hotline. So Dakota County has one also. That's not 24/7. It's Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 4. So if people have questions and you can't get through to MDH, you can call Dakota County, and it's staffed with public health. So you can get information that way as well. And then, what else? But we're doing all the things that we have Twitter, Facebook, our website, doing everything that possible that we can to let people know what's going on.
Mm-hmm. That the information challenge has definitely been a sort of an interesting byproduct of everybody staying home. You have to be really deliberate about communication.
It is a challenge. I mean, it was before, and now, right. But now it's like, okay, well, here's what we have available. At least we were up and running, and we weren't behind the 8 ball and going, oh, let's get started. So all of these things were available before the virus. So we're just trying to direct people, if you need information, here are some resources.
Yeah. I think one of the things that's going to come out of this is, we joke about the counties being the hidden layer of government, and so many things that the counties provide that people don't necessarily think about. They're going to become more aware of all the services that are actually happening at the county level. I think that's going to be interesting.
That would be nice. That's good though, because you're right. People don't know what we do. And this is a good time for us to say, hey, here we are. What do you need? Let us help you.
Yep. So on the other side of that, let's talk about how we pay for those services that the county provide. We talk to businesses, members about, what are things that can be done to help businesses, and property tax delays or abatements is a thing that comes up quite a bit. I know that's an issue for businesses. But I know that property taxes pay for a lot of the services that we are leaning on heavily right now. So how is Dakota County sort of looking at those different funding challenges when it comes to delays and abatements and still keeping government running?
Today, we're fine. We're sitting good. If you live in Dakota County, you pay the lowest property taxes in the state to begin with. And we are, gotta plug that. You do.
I don't live in Dakota County, so I'm a little bit jealous today.
Sure, we could find you a house somewhere. We're a pretty big county, land-wise. And we're debt-free at the moment. We've been debt-free since around 2014. Now, hopefully that lasts, but you never know with something like this, the states, their surplus is pretty much gone. So, $1 billion. So property taxes, we had that discussion because we've been getting the questions too from a lot of people. I can't pay my taxes. They're due on the 15th. But what counties can do, What we can't do by statute is we can't change the due date, but I think the legislature did that. They extended it to the 30th of May instead of the 15th of May. I thought I heard that. Okay. And what we can't do is waive someone's property taxes. Now, what we can do, what we can do is when property taxes are paid late, we can waive the penalty for the late taxes. That's within our purview to do. And what we were hoping the legislature would do is take that on themselves so that it's the same in 87 counties. Otherwise, if the legislature doesn't, then you run the risk of having it done 87 different ways.
Yeah.
But from what I've heard, or some of the rumblings, is there's like bipartisan support to not do something about that and to leave it up to the counties locally to decide how they want to handle it. So right now, our county manager is talking with other county managers around our area to see what the best way would be to handle that. And we asked our staff to check into it further, so they will be bringing something back to us later this month with some recommendations. So there's things we can do, but we can't tell them, oh, you don't have to pay them. But we don't have to penalize them for delaying payment to them. And that, you're right, that trickle down effect, because we are the tax collector. Dakota County keeps maybe 20% of the total taxes that we collect. And then we forward the rest on to the state, the school districts, the cities, the townships, other taxing districts like mosquito control, Met Council. So we're just mostly a pass through for some of those things. So yeah, it would have an effect on all of those other entities who are relying on that money. So yeah, that's a discussion that we have to have, not just amongst the counties, but amongst, with the cities and the school districts, to see if it's something that they're willing to, if we let people be late, would they be okay with that? So it's a discussion that needs to take place. We just haven't had a full one yet.
Gotcha. Do you find that different levels of government are sort of talking to each other more now than they were in the past?
Yeah, I can, for myself, I belonged to I represent the city of Burnsville. That's my district. And once a month we were having, they call it Burnsville leadership meetings with the chamber, the school district, the city, and other businesses. Well, now we're going to start those once a week. So we're talking more because things are changing, it seems like weekly, daily, but we're going to try and at least have some type of forums, informational forums weekly. So yeah, on a personal level, yeah, I've been talking a lot lately to other levels of government.
Right. Well, that's just another illustration that we're all sort of in this together, whether we want to be or not. We need that cooperation.
And you have to play nice. So
yes. So this pandemic has obviously changed the conversation. It's changed our priorities. It's literally changed the world. There were things that we were all working on before this started. So what are other sort of policy things or things that the county are doing that you're continuing to work on?
Well, like roads, we still have roads to maintain, even though there's not a lot of people driving on them right now. I saw a snippet, I don't know, I think it was on Facebook, that said, now's a good time to fix your potholes. Yeah, that's a very good point. So yeah, we're still, there are still things that we have to do, roads being one of them. We're still, and before all this happened, we have a list of legislative priorities that we were asking help with the legislature for funding on. We're still asking. So a lot of business as usual. We're still doing it. You can't stop. You'll fall behind, and then you have to try and play catch up. So we're still moving forward as much as we can, knowing, you know, a lot of the state's resources are going to go towards getting people, paying for unemployment, you know, getting those unemployment checks out. There's a lot of people that need to be taken care of, but in the same respect, there's a lot of duties that we still have to take care of too, that isn't related to the virus.
Right.
It's business as usual. We have to.
That
Just
makes
doing
sense.
it a little different. Yeah.
So the State of the County speech has been altered a little bit as well. I think I saw that. It's no longer an in-person event.
Mm-hmm. Yes. It'll be so much easier to watch. There is you can RSVP. It's to countyadministration@co.dakota.mn.us. And RSVP, we're going to do a Zoom thing like this. And we're going to also, our board chair, Mike Slavic, it's April 17th. It's from 8:30 to 9:30. And if you send in an email telling them you're interested, we're still figuring out some of the logistics on it. We'd like to do a Facebook Live and try that, see if that works. But yeah, it'll be very different this year. And but I know I have a lot of trust and confidence in our board chair, Mike Slavic. He's a great guy, and I know he'll do a great job. This is totally different, but I think he's leading our meetings right now this way. So it'll be no different. You're just talking to a whole lot more people, and
Right.
there'll be Q&A at the end. So yeah, it'll be a newer way of doing it.
I had joked with Evie, who runs our webinars, that we're all going to be able to add TV producer to our resumes by the time that this is done.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot more to TV producing that goes on that's not quite this, but
yeah.
So this has brought about a lot of change, a lot of, opportunities to learn new things, like with the technology. We usually talk about change as a bad thing. Humans tend to think, oh, I love change if I'm doing the change. But if you're doing the change, I don't love the change.
I don't like it.
So has there been anything new or different that you've taken from this experience that might be an opportunity for good change once we're done with whatever done means?
Yeah. Well, Shannon, I'm telling you, I am living proof that an old dog can learn new tricks, okay? Because I am the type of person who likes paper and a good number 2 lead pencil, okay? So being on the different committees that I'm on, I've learned how to use Zoom. The county right now for our board meetings, we've been using Skype for business, but I think we're looking at Zoom for business. I sit on the Metropolitan Mosquito Control District, where I chair that one. We have been using GoToAgenda. So, and I know there's a lot of them out there, so I have had to be very flexible in my learning curve as far as this kind of thing, this kind of technology. So personally, I may not have to be able to put TV producer, but I mean, at least I have learned how to use technology a little better than what I used to. I'm not so afraid of it anymore. If I touch this button, it's not going to crash. So
you hope.
Yeah, I hope.
And that's something that I found. It seems like a lot of us are sort of giving each other a lot of room and a lot of grace in dealing with, I don't have kids, so I am not a worker and a teacher at the same time, but I know a lot of my coworkers are. So when kids, stick their head into the frame of the Zoom, or the dogs bark, or, whatever is happening, I think people understand sort of the humanity behind that.
It keeps you humble, I'll tell you that. And I'm really thankful not one of my 3 dogs has barked yet. So,
yeah.
And they're little.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I can't, I can't imagine. I told you before we started, my daughter-in-law is a English teacher at Minnetonka High School. She has a 4 and a 2-year-old at home, and she's due with the third one in May. So she has to not only teach her kids, she has a whole classroom of kids that she has to teach online now. I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you strike that balance. And my son, bless his heart, you know, we have our an insurance agency.
Mhm.
He's been kind of taking over that more because my husband wants to retire. But I mean, he's been filling that role more. But our doors are locked there too, you know. So we've been doing a lot of business on the phone, on the internet, this kind of thing. So I think after, when things are safer, not that this way of communicating, it's probably going to end up being more like a norm. I don't know how many people you have in attendance today, but I think you can, this is an opportunity to sit down and more of an opportunity, because the first one you had, I sat and watched, and because I know Commissioner McDonough, but it was nice for just to sit and say, how are things going in Ramsey County? You know, it was
Right.
really nice to listen and find out what's going on. So, but I didn't have to go anywhere. So this kind of thing is really pretty cool.
I think once we all got over the initial hurdles and figuring out how to keep the Zoom bombers out stuff.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I think we're doing good. Well, I want to thank you again for taking the time. I very much appreciate it. And Evie, I'm going to toss it back over to you.
This session was recorded and will be available at a later date posted on our website. For more information on SPACC Live, public policy conversations, and other SPACC events, please refer to our calendar at stpaulchamber.com. And don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Have a wonderful day today.
Awesome. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks. This is awesome.
I thought so too.